All right, boys and girls, so this is my first ever 5th grade Red Pages review, and this is for topic 1-1 through 1-7, and this is for the topic test, okay? So I don't have an extra book, so I'm looking off my computer and my answers. So this was number 1, okay? The first question says, 6 is 100 times what? Okay, so if 6 is equals 100 times what number? Okay, so if I multiply this number times 100, I get this. That means that this is 100 times bigger than whatever number this is. So if I am dividing by 100, I could put it over under this, okay? But it also means that whatever this is, I moved the decimal to get it right here, okay? So this answer is going to be 0.06. So if I multiply this times 100, this decimal is going to be moved 2 times, 1, 2. Okay, this also meant that this equaled 6 over 100, which also equals 6/100. Okay, the next one says 0.6 or 0.06 is 10 times what number? Okay, so 0.06 is 10 times what? Okay, so that means that this number is 10 times bigger than some other number, okay? So if I moved it one place, one happy 0, I should have had 006. If I multiply this number times 10, I get this one, okay? That's the relationship between thousands and hundreds. Thousands are 10 times less than hundredths, okay? All right, next one. 60 is 1/100th of what number? Okay, that means that 60 is 100 times less than what other number? So if I multiplied 60 times 100, I will get that number, which equals 6,000. Okay, on the test, I'll probably give you hints like if I multiplied 100 times what, I get this, or I'll try to help you with this part because sometimes they ask it a little bit confusing. Okay, all right, we're moving on to number 2. It says that a national park has 80,923, and this "and" right here is the decimal, and 86/100ths of acres of land. Okay, so what I just read, and this is for number 2, I read 80,000, that means I put a comma, 923 and 86/100ths. Okay, that means that it's 2 places past the decimal because this is tenths and this is hundredths. And this corresponded with letter D on your papers. Okay, so letter D was your answer, 80,923 and 86/100ths. Okay, all right, number 3. Number 3 says, which numbers have a digit in the ones place that is 1/10 the value of the digit in the tens place? Now the kids in the class were like, what does that mean, Miss Katie? Well, that just means that whatever digit is in the ones place and whatever digit is in the tens place is 10 times different. Either 10 times less or 10 times more, okay? It also means that they both have to be the same. So when we say the relationship of numbers, we're talking about numbers that are the same. So if I multiply 10 times 7, I'm going to get 77. The 7 is 10 times less than 70, or the 70 is 10 times more than the 7, okay? They have to be the same, okay? So on your study guide, see if I can mark it. I have some stamps I can put some red stamps. Oops, a little too far. Okay, that means we're gonna mark this one because the two 7s are next to each other. So the first 7 is 10, you multiply times 10, you'll get 70. 7, 7. Okay, you can't do this one because they were talking about 1s and 10s. The two 8s are in hundreds and tens, not 1s and 10s. We're gonna mark the 1055 because of the two 5s, and then we're gonna mark the last one because of the two 2s. Okay, yay! All right, number 4. Number 4 says, Miss Martin has $7,000 in her account. Alonzo has 1/10 as much money. Okay, if he has 1/10, you're taking 7,000, and you're going to say, okay, what times 10 equaled 7,000? Okay, so I'm looking for 10 times a number that equaled that. Or you can also look at it like 7,000 divided by 10. When you divide a 10, you take off a 0. When you multiply a 10, you add a 0. So if I'm dividing by the 10 and I'm saying I need 1/10 of it, I'm taking it off. So my answer is going to be $700. So if I multiply this, I get this. Okay, if we divide a 10, we take it off. If we multiply, we add it on. All right, okay. Okay, moving on to number 5. Let's see if I can move it up. Boom, ba-da-ba. Number 5, select all the comparisons that are true. And I still have my little stampy. The first one says 7 and 15 hundredths. And the other one says 4 and 51 thousandths. Now, thousands sounds bigger, but I'm trying to compare the one place value at a time. So I'm going to write these two numbers on my paper really quick. 0, 5, 1. And so we learned, and we also watched a video, that we go a place value at a time. So this is the same, so we don't look here. Next one, we have a 1 and a 0. Tenths are 10 times bigger than hundredths. Also told the kids that it's backwards in decimal world. So thousandths are little bitty, hundredths are getting a little bigger, and tenths are the biggest in decimal world. So it's saying that this one's bigger, so that one is true. That's a true comparison. So I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna put a little stamp on it. Okay, so see my stamp? And he also he's stamping everywhere. So let me take those off. No. Okay, the second one says 1.054 is bigger than 4.5. I can see the 0 in the tenths place and the 4 in the tenths place. This one is supposed to be bigger, so that one's not true. The next one says 5.14 is smaller than 5.0. Oh, that's a problem because the 1 is bigger than the 0. Second to last, we have 5.14 is smaller than 5.41. There's a 1 in the tenths place and a 4. So this one's true because that 4/10 is bigger. There we go. We put a stamp in the right place. The last one says 5 and 14 thousandths. And this one says that this one's bigger. 5 and 41 hundredths. Hundredths is bigger. We also have a 0 in the tenths place and a 4 in the tenths place. So the 4 is going to be bigger. There we go. That's our answers that we had in class. The next one is about these shapes right here. And it's talking about this block right here. This block is actually a hundredths block. And each row of colors is a 10th, okay? So this is Luke's side and this is Becca's side. So 20 equals 2 10s. So Luke shaded 2 10s, Becca shaded 3 10s. So number 6, it's asking you who has more. And so we marked down Becca in class because Becca has, whoop, I put an H, but that's okay. Becca has 3 10s versus Luke's 2 10s. So she has more. And that was part A. Part B is asking to write 2 decimals that are equivalent to Luke's. So in class, we talked about how every number has an invisible zeros going on and on forever and ever until the end of time, an infinite amount of zeros. So 2 tenths is how much he has. If I put a 0, this is still equal, even though this says 20 hundredths, okay? Another equivalent decimal has 2 zeros. So it doesn't matter how many, it's still the same decimal here and here, okay? So part B, number 6, they just want you to add zeros to whatever decimal it is, okay? Moving on to number 7. All right, number 7 is asking for which statements are the value of 2.044 and 20.44 true, okay? So if we look at this, and I just want to look at it first, I can see that it's the same numbers. I have a 2, 2, 0, 0, 4, 4, 4, 4. All that happens is that the decimal moved. If I move the decimal this way, I went 10 times less. If I moved it here, I multiplied 10 times more. Okay, so what we marked on our page was this one. 2.044 is 1/10 smaller than 20.44 because we moved the decimal one place. When you divide a number, if I divide this by 10, I'm losing a spot. I would move this over this way. Okay, if we move our decimal this way, we're getting smaller. If we multiply, we're moving our decimal back this way. The second answer that we marked on our paper was 20.44 is 10 times bigger than this one. If we multiply this number times 10, we move the decimal back this way and make the number bigger. All right, we finished the first page. Okay, so now we're going to turn the page, and Miss Katie's going to press next. Okay, number 8 says the weight of Darren's phone is 3 405 ounces. What is this in expanded form? Okay, so when we're doing expanded form and we have a whole number, you just, like the ones place, just write it just normal. If this was 30, then I would multiply the 3 times 10. Each digit has to be taken out and dealt with unless it's a 0, okay? So 3 plus, that takes care of that digit. It's just a 3. You don't have to break it down or do anything to it. It's just the whole number in the ones place. If it was 10s, we multiply by 10, or we take it out and make it just 30, okay? So if we do 4 tenths, because that's the place this is, we do 4 times 1 over 10. This is how you expand tenths place. We don't have any hundredths. If we did, you would put it over 100. You'd put the number times 1 over 100. Okay, I don't have any hundreds, so the last digit is in the thousands place, the third place. So I'm going to do 5 times 1 over 1,000. And that's how you break down the thousands place. So tenths place, thousands place. So this answer corresponded with letter A on your study guide. They actually multiplied to 3 times 1, but you don't have to do that. It's just 3. 3 times 1 is okay though. And 4 times 1 over 10, 5 times 1 over 1,000. Number 9, moving right along. Okay, this Elaine person has a piece of wire. It's this long. Dikembe has a piece that's this long. They're just wanting you to compare. I don't want the how can you tell part. I just want the comparison statement. And I usually call this a chompy one, where the inequality is saying which one is greater than or less than. So 216 is greater than or less than 2.061. So you look at each digit. There's a 2, a 2, a 1, a 0, and that 1 is bigger. This is all I want for that one. I don't want you to explain how you can tell. Just give me the inequality statement. Okay. Number 10. Okay. Number 10, we have a basketball tournament. It says in a basketball tournament, Dimitri averaged 12 and 375 thousandths rebounds. And then it says, what is this number written in expanded form? How is it written in number names? Okay. So I wrote down the number right here. You got to break down each digit at a time. So I have all my digits. So first we're going to do numbers. So this is a 1 in the tens place. So you're going to do 10 to the first power, or you can just write 10 plus. And then sometimes they also want you to do like 1 times 10 to the first, but this is fine. Plus 2. You don't have to do anything to the 2. Plus, and that took care of this digit and this digit. Next we have the tenths place. 3 times 1 over 10 plus 7 times 1 over 100 plus, oh, no, I'm running out of space. 5 times 1 over 1,000. And that is each digit. The 1, the 2, the 3, the 7, and the 5. When you write this in word form, you have to remember that the decimal is and. And I told the kiddos that this is important when you're writing checks out to people, because some doctors are old-fashioned. They like checks, or businesses. So this is 12 and 375 thousandths. Now some of the kiddos are accidentally forgetting these keywords, the thousandths or the tenth or something like that. They'll write the words for all the numbers, but they forgot that last place value with the decimals. So just make sure they're writing that tenths, hundredths, or thousandths. Okay? All right, and that's number 10. All right, number 11. Let's go to number 11. I think that's at the top of the page. Okay, so this number is a pattern, okay? On the study guide, it's going from small to big. On the test, it's going to go from big to small. They need to be able to go backwards and frontwards. So it's getting smaller. We have thousandths, then hundredths, then tenths, then ones. And we said after, and this is part A, it's tens, not tenths. So it's 60, and then hundreds, not hundredths, okay? And then letter B is asking you, what is the relationship between the pattern? So the relationship for this pattern is that it is increasing or getting bigger, or each is any kind of way they want to say that. 10 times each place value. The kiddos might also have each number is 10 times greater than the other, or something like that. Something where it's getting 10 times bigger. The number, the key number, or the secret number, or the password, or the most important VIP number is 10, the power of 10. Alrighty, number 12. We're almost done with our first page. Okay, number 12. Kendra and her horse completed a barrel racing course in 15 and 839 seconds. Great job to that person named Kendra. What is this number rounded to the nearest tenth? Explain how you decided. I'm not worried about the explaining how you decided part, okay? So when you're rounding any number, you're doing the same steps each time. So you underline the place value that it's asking for, look at his neighbor, and I say 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. And it means that it's not changing, it's resting, it's staying the same. Okay, so this one, the 3 is 4 or less, so we are staying the same. So if we round it, it would be 15 and 8/10. Some kiddos write 0, 0, but they need to recognize that this is equal. Even if I just write 15.8, it's equivalent decimals, okay? All right, and that's the first page. Now we're gonna turn to the performance task, and I'm gonna get a fresh sheet of paper for this. Bear with me for just a moment. I have to exit and go to the next page. I have to do all the buttons. Loading. Okay, most important thing I tell students when they're doing a performance task is I tell them to make sure that they look at everything. They have to read this top little part, look and see what kind of charts we have going on here. On the test and on this one, you're gonna be rounding a whole bunch. The whole first page is just rounding. The first chart, they had to pick 4 fruits that they wanted, and then they had to round each fruit that they picked. When I went over it, I rounded all of them. The top is to the nearest 10th pound. I know it says 0.01. I'm sorry, 0.1 pound, but that's tenths. At the bottom, it's gonna be nearest 100th, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and round all of them because I don't know what your child picked. I know some picked different fruits. They all like different fruits. Peaches and pears. All right, so I labeled mine. So we had 2.068 to the nearest tenth. You underline it, look at his neighbor, we're soaring. This should be 2.1 because 5 or more, let it soar. Blueberries was 1.07. Underline the place value they asked for, circle the neighbor, we're soaring again, 1.1 because the 7 made this one go up 1. All right, lemons, we have 1.031. Underline the place value, circle his neighbor, we're resting. Even though this is a 0, 1.0, we still write it out, okay? Oranges was 3.502 or 502 thousandths. Underline the place value, look at the neighbor, looks like we're resting, 3.5. Peaches equaled 2.608. Underline the 10th place, look at the neighbor, rest. All right, 2.6. And then your pairs was 3.59. Come on, Miss Katie. 2. Look at the 10th place. Circle the neighbor. We're soaring for this one. So this one's going to make this 5 go up 1 place. So 3.6. Yay! And part B asks you how did you figure out, explain how you rounded. You tell me what you did. I looked at the 100th place to round the 10th place. I used the 100th place to round tenths. And that's it. The kiddo should have wrote that. All right. The next part is the veggies. That was fruits. These are veggies. So let's see. We're going to scroll down. Okay, so this was the part where they had to round to the nearest 100th. We have asparagus, beets, celery, corn, potatoes, and red onions. So I labeled my letters. Asparagus was 2.317. Okay, so instead of underlining the 10th place, now I'm going to underline the 100th place. Same step. Underline the place you need to round. Look at his neighbor. 5 or more. Let it soar. This should be 2.32. Beets. 1.862. Underline your place. Look at his neighbor. 4 or less. Let's take a rest. 1.86. This one is celery. It's 1.402. So we underline the place. Look at the neighbor. We're going to rest. So this is 1.40. Corn, 3.441. Underline the place value. Look at his neighbor. Take a rest. 3.44. I told the students if they added zeros for that 3rd place value that it was okay because it's equivalent. Oh, I think that was potatoes. I think I did the wrong one. All right, let's point that down there. All right, we're going to switch these. All right, corn, I did the wrong number. That's okay, same step over and over again. This was 2.556. Underline the place value, look at his neighbor, going up. This is 2.56. Red onions. This is 1.861. Underline the place value, circle his neighbor, take a rest. Time to rest. 1.86. Yay! All right. And then when you explain how you rounded the weights of the vegetables, you say, I use the thousands place to round to the hundredths place. Okay. Now let's go to the last page. Last page. All right. So we're not doing all of these. We're doing some of these. We're picking which ones we want to do because the kids have a lot of work on that first test. And first math test in 5th grade, they might be a little nervous. That's okay. We're going to do number 3. Number 3 wants you to compare lemons and blueberries. So I'm going to look back at my lemons and blueberries. So blueberries, we had 1.007. That's blueberries. Lemons were 1.031. 1.031. And you compare each place. 1, 1, 0, 0, 7, 3. The 7's bigger. Num, 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 num. All right, let's see. Number 4, we're skipping. So bye-bye, number 4. Number 5, we're skipping. Let's see. I believe we skipped number 6. And it was just 10 times if you wanted to look. It's just they asked this question more than one time. Let's see. Number 7, I said I just wanted the number name. So the number name of the pounds of celery. Okay, so if I look back, celery was 1.402. 1.402. So numbers in expanded form. This would be 1 plus 4 times 1 over 10, because it's in the tenths, plus, there's no hundredths, 2 times 1 over 1,000. So it's 3 places past the decimal. Okay? And I told them don't worry about the word form. If we did, it would be 1 and 402 thousandths. Okay? And then we skipped number 8. And that's it. All done, 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 done. Look, y'all are not here. Everybody's gone. Okay, so I just wanted to tell you. Good luck, and you got it. Okay.